Hey everybody, Lara from Fairy Fox Design. I wanted to share with you guys some telltale signs of a beginning face painter. So I don't want anybody to feel like I'm picking on anybody, so all of the pictures that you are about to see came from me from my very first summer as a professional face painter. And I want to show you things that I've learned to elevate my designs out of that beginning space into something more advanced. Telltale sign of beginning face painters, there are no thin to thick to thin lines. They are all the same, whether they're thick or whether they're thin. That's kind of painter to painter, but if all your lines are the same width, might be time to try a little bit of variation there. A beginner face painter on the cheek will do these little tiny things because they get the shape, the size that they want it to be, and then when they add the outline, everything shrinks. You need to take a deep breath and expand and, live in glory in that cheek size. Beginning face painters find their favorite brush and they paint everything with exactly the same brush. You're losing the chance to make a bunch of different marks that can add interest and variation to your painting. So make sure you have at least 5 different brushes, some big ones, some little ones, some round ones, some flat ones. Okay, mark of a beginner. Forgetting to paint an essential feature, like the nose. This happens to me on tigers and skeletons, where I don't want to paint the black nose at the beginning because I don't want to smear it with my pinky. And so, make sure that you get the essential things on. This poor little puppy, he can't smell anything. Oh. Perspective, perspective, perspective. When you look at something, you're like, something's wrong. It's almost always a perspective issue. So, beginner face painters, learn to stay in the lane of easy perspective. That means when we're doing animals, keep it in profile until you are ready to go to a 3/4 view, or keep it in front face. One of the marks of a beginning face painter is loading each color separately onto their brushes. While this is wonderful when you have the time to do an acrylic painting or a watercolor painting, as a face painter, you've got 3 to 5 minutes in order to get that kid with the design they want. So, welcome to the world of one stroke. There are people that have a total lack of black, where it's like, come on. Beginning face painters, it's okay to use black. I needed to be told that. You need to be told that. It's okay to use black. But then sometimes somebody needs to go along and pull that little brush away from that face painter and be like, give the black a rest. So we want to make sure that we find that happy balance to where our outlining is beautiful and meaningful and not too much. So too little, too much is too wrong. Sometimes we can try and focus on our brushes way too much, and it is time to make sure that you are comfortable with a sponge. Especially, we want to make sure that our work is beautiful and blended. And so if you are doing a full face tiger, you should use a sponge probably. Telltale sign of a beginner face painter is failing the most important face painting test. That is the what is it test. It is so important that a little kid walking around, when people see them, they don't guess wrong. I could smack that stupid uncle that's always there that blurts out, oh my gosh, you have a horse on your face. And it's like, oh, that's a cow. It is not a horse. Because now that poor little kid's got to walk around all day saying, my cow looks like a horse. So we need to make sure we are passing the what is it test. This sad design did not pass the what is it test. Is it a rainbow? Is it a cloud? Is it a shooting star? Is it a fancy eye design? I don't know. Telltale sign of a beginner face painter, here it is. The skin peeking through. It's like, peekaboo, hey, this is on a face. And so make sure if you have outlined something and to say, this is not the human face, this is a snake, make sure you paint the whole snake. Letting the skin show through should only happen if you choose for it to happen. Tread lightly or not at all when you are altering existing facial features. Biggest one, eyebrows. Leave them alone. Oh, both of these pictures, you can see that the painting's not so bad, except for those eyebrows. Look at how see-through this paint is. It really needed a little bit more time in the palette on the brush with the water to really make this design sing. Telltale sign of a beginning face painter is that the sponge is out of control and we don't really know where it's going next and where it's going to be. So when you're struggling, when you're new, just have the wet wipe there to clean up the edges. It's so sad to see this beautiful face that's marred by the evil pink under the eyes. Oh. Beginning face painters do not know how to protect their space. Often she'll get told, "You're so patient, you're a saint, whatever," while inside sometimes there is a raging beast saying, "Oh my gosh, these kids are getting so close to me and I can't." So we need to learn the fairy godmother voice where you say, "Hello everyone, I can't wait to paint your face, but in order for me to paint, I need everybody to scoot back a little bit more, one more step, just a little." We don't want to paint the chin unless we know for sure we want to paint the chin. We want to be very cautious. This poor little butterfly ended up with sideburns. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. So the chin is where the facial hair grows on the face. If we're doing a bunch of cute little line work, it's going to turn into facial hair. Symmetry fails. Oh my goodness. Beginning face painter, right here. It doesn't matter how beautiful the work is. If this side looks like this and this side looks like that, it's a beginner design. There's a reason asymmetrical houses fall down. So we want to make sure that asymmetry is something that we only do on purpose. Telltale sign of a beginner face painter is when a mask comes down too far. And let me tell you why. If we come down here, this area of the face shifts a lot as we talk and as we move. And so when somebody smiles and this part of the face shifts, if there is paint of the mask there that has been outlined as a boundary, it will ruin the illusion. The most important thing to do as a face painter is to know what story you're telling. You can see in this design, I have two main characters. The main character is blue and the main character is white. And in this fireball, we're not really sure where the focus is. It's a little visually confusing. And that means that we've told a muddled story. So make sure that in your face painting, you always know what is the story about. One of the beginning telltale signs of a one-stroke face painter is that you start with the full edge of your 3/4 inch or your 1 inch brush, and you show all of those colors right at the beginning, out of nowhere. We don't want anything in a face paint to come out of nowhere. One of the places that this happens most often, and it's so sad, is right on the eyelid. We want to be able to do a beautiful mark on the eyelid. It's such an important part of the face. Have you ever seen a face painter that paints like the Leaning Tower of Pisa? A child's neck is the easel of the face painting world, and the kid is a little nervous sometimes, and so they'll duck their head, or their head is just low, and so don't try and paint like an astronaut upside down and turned around. Go ahead and have the easel do its job and move that head around for you. Another mark of a beginning face painter is either they are too stressed or too forgetful to take a picture. And it is so sad. Look at this picture. I forgot to take. We are both sad for that lost opportunity. One of the very first things that I teach are the focal points of the face. Because when we miss the focal points, people are going to be like, even if we just miss them a little, you can still see that the design would have looked a lot better if we could have just, A huge telltale sign of a beginner face painter is a lack of shading. If we are only painting part of the face and we don't add anything for depth, one stroking makes this so easy and we can kind of cheater shade and skip this step. But if we are doing big blocks of color that are a single color, it will look amateur, it will look beginning. One of the telltale signs of a beginning face painter is butterfly wings that are drooping, falling down the face, whatever. Make sure our wings are tight and cute and fun and spry. We want wings that can move, not wings that are going to make these poor butterflies bottom heavy and they're never going to get off that flower. I know you guys know how much I love teardrops. As you are looking to make your teardrops more beautiful, we want there to be a difference between both ends of the teardrops. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a Good and Plenty or a Mike and Ike. So look and see if you have any hot tamale teardrops in your designs and try and get those points a little bit thinner. You guys, it has been so much fun to take you through some of my early work. We all start at the beginning, and so being a beginner face painter, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking to improve and you're looking to grow, these are some of the things that can elevate your work that other people won't really know the shift, but they'll be able to see the difference. And that's what we're looking for, is we want that difference in our work. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you laughed a couple of times, maybe felt a little bit of my blushing that makeup hides. Thank you guys very much. Have a good one.